As I take my journey into becoming an educator, there are many things I have learned, and as I explore my possible career paths, I have learned that I want to be an urban educator. And with that being said, there are many reasons as to why I want to do that, and the main reason is because it needs to be changed. It needs attention, and it needs to be properly funded. So in urban education, or inner city schools, as most people know them, and also most people might know inner city schools as Chicago or New York, but that's not true. They're everywhere. In fact, there are so many inner city schools in Houston that people might not realize that HISD alone is an inner city school. So what exactly makes up an inner city school? Well, an inner city school is a low-income community school district where many of the residents there are minorities living in poverty. Now, I personally grew up in a predominantly Hispanic low-income community. And my education, while it wasn't the best, it definitely wasn't the worst either. It was okay. And most of my classmates went on to a good university or a community college. Whereas I had friends in an upper class school district who had a typical High School Musical experience. And I have other friends who were less fortunate than I was, who grew up with gangs and violence out on the streets. And this specifically goes towards the Southeast area and Third Ward in Houston. So what my goal is, what I want to do, is find a way to limit a student's participation in this gang violence that is out there, and in poverty, and in poor education overall. I want to give them a future. I want to give them a sense of a good self-esteem, and a sense that they can accomplish anything. So there are some programs that are dedicated to students like this, like the Little Brother and the Big Brother programs, or the Salvation Army, or the YMCA. But not everybody can qualify for those, and they don't go out of their way looking for people. But I have found an interesting solution that will really help these students in these inner city schools. Principal Akbar Cook from Newark, New Jersey, started a program called Lights On, where every Friday night the school stays open until about 11 p.m. and students are free to do their laundry. They are able to eat dinner, and they are able to take part in many different activities that suit and that are recreational and suit their creative needs. So they can record music, they can produce it, they can be sound engineers, that they can be sporty, they can play basketball, they can do cheerleading, they can go running, and they can also be they can just have a great time together, have fun, spend time with their friends, playing video games, or just talking, gossiping, and spending time together in a positive and safe environment. And with this said, if we were to incorporate this program into every inner city school, we would drastically see an increase in attendance, an increase in behavioral performance, and an increase in academic recognition. So the students' academic will go up. They will be able to receive better grades. They will have teachers on site who can help them with their homework, and they will be in a better environment, and they will also have a meal after school, because most of these students, they are living in poverty, and they don't have access to food outside of school on weekends, in the summer, or after school. And this program specifically is open 3 days a week every summer. And they provide these meals and these activities to these students during the summer as well. They do anything and everything that they can to help these at-risk students. And it is currently being funded by the community and by high school alumni who have gone there. But when you think about it, instead of sending all the money to those rich schools that are overfunded and don't need as much attention as these inner city schools, what we can do is we can take that money, we can take all the funding into these schools, the schools that really need it. That's where we need to put our focus on. And we will be seeing dramatic results. So, in conclusion, something that will help the U.S. education, something that will really, really help it, besides the proper funding, is having an after-school program like Lights On. What this principal did is life-changing to these at-risk students. And what this principal did is something that should be recognized by everybody. It's something that needs to be acknowledged, and it's something that needs to be shoved down into politics, into Betsy DeVos, the U.S. Secretary of Education. This is what the public education system of the United States needs. This is extremely impactful to these students and to the future of the United States, because our children are the future. And if we don't give them what they need now so they can succeed, then our future will not be as bright as we want it to be.